So you know you got to sell yourself if you want to make money. So how do you sell yourself better than what you're doing right now?
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
All right, so you got to master the ability to sell yourself or you're just not going to make money. You're not going to get hired. So how do you actually sell yourself and how do you get good at it? Because you know, hey, I got to sell myself. You know that, but how do you get good at it? Because I get so many emails from speakers, from people in general, where they say things like this. They say like, hey, Benji, what do you think of this email that I send to people? And they say like, I speak about changing people's lives and the science of the dome, the science of the brain to get you to achieve your potential and your success and all that stuff. And that's not how you sell, man. I mean, come on now. Let me give you a good example of how to sell. And actually, it doesn't surprise me at all. So I remember I signed up one time to the email list of Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone sells all this speaker training. And when you sign up, you got to enter your phone number. So I entered my phone number and they called and I didn't answer. I don't really answer my phone. So I didn't answer. They left a voicemail and I didn't return the call. Then they called again. They left another voicemail and they called the third time. And on the third time, I thought like, damn, that was good. What they did on the third time is they left a voicemail and said, oh, hey, Benji, my bad. I didn't know you were an entertainer and a speaker. You probably want to be on stage with Grant Cardone too. Just give me a call back and let's talk about it. And I thought like, damn, like that was a good ass voicemail. That's how you sell. It always comes down to you really thinking from their standpoint, not yours. And when people say this whole thing of, I change people's lives, it's the science of potentiality, whatever it is, people aren't selling versus the way Grant Cardone's people did with me. I thought like, damn, that was brilliant. See, the way you get good at it is when you see an event, it doesn't matter what the event is. I mean, literally it doesn't matter what it is. When you see an event, you need to think about how would you contact those people? How would you sell them on you? So what would you say to them? So if you hear about a tech event, whether let's say you're on Facebook, you just see there's a technology event going on, whatever the event is, or you're at a hotel, you see a tech event. How would you contact the organizers? What would you say to the organizers to get them to hire you? So you might say things like, oh, well, we use this really cool technology in our presentation and people are just amazed and blah, 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 whatever it is. And you're talking about the technology. And so you basically think, how would you get them to hire you with that specific event? Then when you see another event, you see a sales event. Now you say, okay, how am I going to get these people to hire me at the sales event? So now you say something like, hey, you know what? Salespeople, they tend to eat speakers alive. I mean, they just eat speakers alive. I come in there like a bulldozer of motivation and just own the room. And so you talk about it differently. If you were to talk to a sales team to get hired for a sales event versus if you were to talk to a technology event, you would say things like, hey, we actually bring in some really cool technology into our presentation. We use this cool stuff and all these lights and virtual reality and augmented reality and stuff you never heard of. And then you say with salespeople like, dude, I come in like a bulldozer of motivation. I mean, salespeople, they think they've heard it all. They think they know it all. I come in there and just own the whole thing. So you think in terms of what specifically can you say for this event? In whatever event you see, you just practice it. And this is going to force your mind to constantly think from their perspective, not yours. If you are giving the same pitch to every person, to every event, to everybody, then you're not doing it right. The same way the guy from Grant Cardone's organization called me and said, hey, Benji, I see you're an entertainer and a speaker. You probably want to be on stage with them. He can't say that to some dude who owns a car dealership. It wouldn't make sense to him. And so you got to think in terms of, if I were to contact this event, how would I contact them? If I were to contact this event, how would I contact them? And this is always going through your mind. And in the Speak Pro Academy, we constantly talk about how to sell yourself better, because if there is one thing that I see people have problems with, it is this. They do not know how to sell themselves to the point where people say, okay, I want to do business with you, because everybody sounds the same. I can't tell you how many emails I get where all the speakers sound the same. Everything that they send me, it sounds the same as everybody else, because they're used to just creating the email or creating their cold calls or whatever it is. They're used to creating this thing from their perspective rather than customizing it to that person's problems, that person's perspective. So here's the thing. If you want to learn how to sell, you want to learn how to market yourself better, and we'll talk about it in the Speak Pro Academy, you got to join it. I mean, the only way you're going to get better at selling yourself is by doing it, not by sitting down and thinking about it. There's so many people out there who will sit down and write a script, and they'll write their emails and they'll think it's great. I mean, every person who sent me an email thought it was great. They were like, hey, this is great. I'm awesome. Every person thought of that. But the only way you get better at it is when you actually send this stuff out and you see how people respond to you. Are they responding to you? Are they ignoring you? Are they saying, nah, get out of here, you're a scrub, you seem like a scrub, we don't want to talk to you? So you got to think in terms of how are people actually responding to you, and you constantly practice. When I'm out and about, I'm constantly thinking about marketing. I think, okay, there's a car dealership here. How would I market the car dealership? Okay, there's McDonald's here. How would I get more people to go to their restaurant? Okay, I constantly think about that stuff. And you got to think, when you're at an event, when you hear about an event, when you see anything going on, how would you pitch this specific event? Practice, practice, practice until it becomes second nature. And listen, guys, if you like this video, if you like all these videos, share it, comment on it. I need to know that there are people out there, and I'm not talking to myself. Because even though I like talking to myself, and even though there's these weird voices in my head, I need to know that at least there's someone not in my head. So comment on this video, share this video, and I'll show you some more.